Hello, we're going to talk about setting up your smartboards when you're using cables. So when you go to set up your smartboard and you're using cables, the cables are generally hooked into the back of the board on one of the two sides. So mine happen to be here on the left-hand side. Sometimes you will see cables plugged into the front. That's usually a convenience thing just because somebody has unplugged and replugged it in another location. There are generally two cables that are hooked up. One is your HDMI cable. Looks very similar to the HDMI cables that some of you may have used for cable boxes at home. The other is a USB cable, just a normal one. When you're plugging in your cables, it's the HDMI cable that's responsible for carrying the nice crisp pictures that you see on your screen. If you're going to be streaming a lot of video or something very complex, sometimes you want to have a direct connection to get a nice stable connection and not worry if you're using a wireless signal to send your stuff to the board. The USB cable generally is what allows you to get touch going between your computer and your smartboard. So we just plug these both in. You can plug them in on the same side of the computer or on opposite sides of the computer. It's a personal preference. So what if I have somebody else coming in who wants to plug into my board? If you have an HDMI cable or a USB cable, you can absolutely plug other cables into the front of your board. You can then go between the different inputs. So if I click on input, you'll see that there are multiple options that I can select for the input. So you can choose which screen you want to share your signal from. Right? I hope that this was helpful, but if you need any other assistance, please feel free to message me and we can schedule a time to meet.